Hi guys, back with another video. This video we're going to compare two 22 caliber PCP rifles. You've seen this one. This is the Walther Rain from Umarex. It's 22 caliber, bullpup style rifle with the chamber clear back here. It wears a Hawk Vantage 3 to 9 power scope. I've used this thing a lot for squirrel season. If you watch my squirrel hunt videos, you've seen a lot of it. The Stoeger XM1 Bullshark, also 22 caliber, bullpup style rifle. This one is a little bit shorter, doesn't have the moderator. That moderator is kind of, I don't know if it's glued or welded or whatever it is, but it's fixed there. This one does have a threaded barrel, so you can add one if you wanted. It would probably make them the same length. As you can tell, the Walther Rain is just a little bit longer in length. It is a little bit heavier too. I'm not sure the exact weights. Maybe I could put some numbers at the bottom of the screen. We're going to try 3 different pellets. Got the Premier Hollow Points, 14.3 grain. Got the JSB Hades, 15.89 grain. And the H&N Barracuda Hunter at 18.21 grain. So this is a 9 shot, this is a 10 shot. We're only going to shoot 5 shots. We've got a target down there about 40 yards. I stepped it off at 40. We're going to try a group with each of these rifles, with each of these pellets, each rifle, and we'll see which one, maybe holds a tighter group. Now this being non-regulated, the velocity is going to fluctuate. It's going to be different, and this being regulated, there might be a difference. But I've used this thing for a couple years on squirrels, and I don't think the squirrels notice a difference. But let's try some pellets at the targets, and we'll see what happens. We'll get loaded up here. All right, so the first pellet we're going to try are the H&N Barracuda Hunters. We're going to start with the Walther Rain. We'll shoot a 5-shot group with each gun. We'll go up and look at the pellet, compare the groups after each shot. So here we go, about 40 yards, Walther Rain. That's the Walther Rain. Now let's try the Stoeger Bullshark. Both these guns have a different feel to them. I think I like the Stoeger, the feel of it just a little bit better. It just feels more compact or ergonomical or something. It just has a better feel to it when I compare that. I'm gonna have to adjust these sandbags after each gun. I will say one thing, I don't like the safety on this Bullshark. It's too small. It's kind of hard to find in a hurry. I think the trigger's a little lighter on the Stoeger here. That's it on that one. All right, let's go up and take a look at them. Walking up to the target. Now I know looking through the scope, Neither of these targets look very good. We'll get a close-up look at them, show you what each gun did. Huh. This is the Walther Rain. Must be 2 shots there. This was the target I'm aiming at, and I did hit low. Now this is the, I don't know, this is the Stoeger Bullshark. Looks like they're all in there. I don't know, must have pulled one. But that's one thing with the Walther Rain, being it's not regulated. I noticed when I shot it through a chronograph when I first got it, the velocity starts out rather low, like in the high 700 feet per second range. It steadily climbs 800 feet per second, 900 feet per second. It'll get up to 1,040 feet per second. It'll shoot a string of shots, and gradually it'll start going down. Now when it comes to accuracy, that is going to hurt accuracy. So let's try a different pellet. Let's see what we get. All right, so now we're going to try a different pellet. We're going to try the Crosman Premier Hollow Points, 14.3 grain. Kind of confused which target I should shoot at with the Walther Rain, because I got the pellets right there in the middle, but I think we'll be able to tell the difference. We're going to go to the middle target down with this. Please excuse the background noise, we got a train coming. All right, here's the Stoeger Bullshark. Like I said, you have trouble finding the safety on this thing. Very hard to find. Shots. Now let's try the Walther Rain. We're going to shoot at the middle target. I hope we can distinguish pellet holes from each other, being that the other ones are so low. I will say one thing, loading up these magazines, the Walther Rain magazine is much easier to load. All right. Travel on the trigger, I'm starting to notice. That travel is adjustable, and I believe the poundage is adjustable. When I first got this rifle, I made a mistake. I was reading on the internet that you could change the trigger spring, replace it with one from a ballpoint pen. Tried to do that, didn't like the trigger, tried to put the old spring back in, and the safety button actually fell out. I had a heck of a time trying to get that back in there. So the safety will actually push all the way through the gun. So I have a piece of tape and a rubber band on the other side. It's hard to explain, but the safety is not the best safety. But I noticed a lot of trigger creep with this now that I shoot it. I think we're on shot 4. Got one more. Now one thing with these guns, when you're at the last shot with this gun, it won't let you close the bolt. This one will let you close it. So you kind of don't know until you hear a different sound when you pull the trigger. It doesn't sound the same. All right, let's go down with the camera. Let's look at those targets. All right, walking up to the target. I'm starting to see some differences between the two rifles, shooting them side by side like that. I mean, they both shoot good. The triggers are both nice, but the triggers are different. So, I don't know if we're going to be able to tell the difference here. Crossbone Premier hollow points. Stoeger Bullshark. Nice little group. A little bit high right in there. Still not as tight as I would like. And here's the Walther Rain. Kind of hits a little bigger group, kind of scattered around there. I think that was, I'm not sure where that pellet was. It might be from the last group. Now we'll shoot this target next. So far, not a big difference in group size. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's humidity or what, but not shooting the best today. So let's try the Hades. These are the pellets that I use when I hunt. I found them to pattern, to group the best. Let's give them a try in each gun. Let's see what the difference is. All right, so now we're gonna shoot the Hades. Got both magazines loaded up. Try the Stoeger first. Like I said, I'm starting to see some differences between them. I mean, there's things I like and things I don't like about each gun. We'll go over that after the shoot here. It's hard to get these sandbags adjusted. Alrighty. Shooting rather quick, aren't I? That one I wasn't ready for. All right, let's try the Walther Rain. Alright, 5 shots with the Walther Rain. So we're going to go up and look at the targets. And then I'm going to come back and I'll talk about each gun, things I like, things I don't like. Let's go look at the targets. Alright, walking up to the target. Those were the JSB Hades. Kind of like that pellet. I've been using it for a few years in the Walther Rain. I think it does shoot pretty good. Now, the groups aren't the greatest right here. Walther Rain 5-shot group. Seems rather big today. I don't know what it is. I know I'm rushing shots. Trying to get the video done before anybody else comes. And this is the Stoeger Bullshark with the JSB Hades. A couple of them grouped together. I know the one I pulled, I felt I was off target when I shot. Actually, it was this one here to the left. But I did pull that one. But that's what it does when you shoot the pellets. I mean, there's not a lot of big difference in the groups. I know that first group there's a bit of a difference. Let's go back. We'll talk about each gun. I'll tell you the pros and cons of each one. All right, we're back here looking at the target. I'm going to go over each one of these and I'll tell you what I think of them, pros and cons. A lot of background noise right beside train tracks here. So here we go with the Stoeger. I like that it's short and compact. I like the idea that you can put a different moderator on there if you want to spend the extra money. It will make the gun longer. I like that it's customizable more. You have higher cheek rest, 2 different size grips. I do like that. I like the fill port. It's kind of hidden, kind of out of the way there. Just pull up the little pressure cap. I don't like the safety on this thing. It's very small, and in a hunting situation, I mean, I guess with a lot of practice you can get used to it. I apologize for the noise. I hate doing videos here because of that reason, and you try to hurry and rush before trains come. That makes for a not so good video. But anyways, I don't like the safety on this thing. It just, maybe with some, you know, getting used to it and using a lot, I might catch on to it. I just don't like that. The magazines are just tricky to load. I mean, it just seems like you're struggling trying to remember how to do it. You have to put one pellet in one way, and you have to turn the magazine over and put the rest of the pellets in a different way. And if you're out in the field, let's say you shot 4 or 5 shots and you just want to reload the magazine, get it freshened up with a full, you know, full capacity, it's hard to do because even though you put pellets in, it won't feed them. It is a 9-round magazine. Trying to think if there's anything else. I like the way the gun feels, the ergonomics. The only thing I could say is the scope is still too low. I need to get higher mounts. These are high mounts. I need to get extra high because when I look through like this, I really have to push my cheek and tilt my head to make the gun feel comfortable. But that's my fault with you know, different mounts that may change it. The reason I wanted to try to stay low is because I don't like the gap between the barrel and the scope. It's like that much, you know, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And for a close range shot, if you don't remember to aim high, you're gonna miss because the pellet's gonna hit lower. So now here's the Walther ring. Now it's not regulated, so the velocity does change as you shoot through the cylinder. You know, the air comes out. It does change velocity. I don't see that as a real big thing when it comes to accuracy. I mean, I know that it does make a difference, but shooting this thing, it seems like a very accurate gun. I like that the magazine is easy to load. It's just, you only get 1 magazine. Now you do get 2 magazines with the Stoeger. You only get 1 magazine, but it's quick, easy to load, 10 shots. Has a moderator. It's either glued or welded. I'm not sure how it's placed on her. I believe it's like some kind of glue. And it's there permanent. I mean, you'd have to do a lot of stuff to get that off there. It'd be nice if your barrel was threaded. You could make the gun shorter. You could add a moderator if you want, or if you didn't want, whatever. I think for the loudness of each gun, the decibels, I don't have a meter to measure that, but they're pretty close. I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference between them, I don't think. But they are quiet enough that when you're in the woods hunting, if you take a shot at a squirrel, it seems like things get back to normal rather quickly. It doesn't seem to disturb wildlife as much when you take a shot. Now the safety, I like the safety, except I messed it up when I first got the gun. Reading on the internet, guys were replacing the trigger spring with one from a ballpoint pen, so I tried to switch that out. Didn't like it, ended up going back to the regular trigger spring that came in the gun. The trigger is adjustable, non-adjustable on the Stoeger. So I did adjust travel and stuff, but I could tell there's a difference between the two. But I messed up the safety when I put everything back together because the safety basically fell out. I had trouble getting it back in. So I have to watch. If I push the safety, it will go all the way through and fall out the other side. So I put a piece of tape over it. Then I put a thick, like a rubber band you'd use for braces, put that on the other side to keep it from going back through the other way. But that was my fault, I messed that up. But the Walther Rain is actually a pretty decent little rifle. I like it, very ergonomical. Now the difference with this is the scope placement. They have a rail, which I believe is just a little bit too long. If it was 1 inch shorter, I can move the scope back. But the way it sits now, I really have to go forward, see through the scope without getting the black ring. So both guns, I could do better with the way the scope's mounted, but I'm just going to use it the way it is. But same gun, I mean the same scope on each gun, so there's not a difference between them as far as that. I do have low mounts on this. and I got the scope back as far as it'll go without hitting the rail. Now, if I had a little bit higher mounts, I could bring the scope back, but then again, it's the same problem. You got your scope, you got your barrel, and if you get a close squirrel, and trust me, I've missed a lot of squirrels because I didn't aim high. I aimed right on, and I'd hit right below them. So as far as both guns, which one's my favorite? I don't think I even have a favorite. They're both pretty good. I like both of them. But if I had to only pick one, I think I would go with the Stoeger because it's more customizable, shorter. It is lighter, I believe about a pound lighter. I would probably go with the Stoeger, but I do like the Walther range. I mean, it's the first PCP air rifle. I like it a lot. As far as pellets, the JSB Hades seem to shoot the best from the shooting I've done with them. Today wasn't a very good example of that, but I think I covered everything. I think I got it all. Alright guys, that'll be it for the video. If you were considering buying one of these two air rifles, I mean, they're both a good gun, both around the same ballpark as far as price. I guess it depends on which one you think looks the coolest. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next video.